Today I'd like to discuss, and this is just going to be a broad overview, the electromagnetic spectrum and how it relates to people who say that they have health problems because of these electromagnetic waves. This particular site that I'm taking you to is the American Cancer Society. And they have a section in here on electromagnetic fields and cancer. The reason they do is that some types of frequencies have been shown to increase significantly the rates of cancer. People who have power lines that are emitting, not if they're insulated and they're not emitting, throwing this off, then it's not going to happen. But electric companies have been sued in the past. There's litigation worries about damages. And there's a cost-benefit analysis that is done by companies in the normal daily business as to whether or not the benefits outweigh the risks of a certain product. When can they be held liable? We have a lot of dirty energy, so we're trying to move to cleaner energy, but in the process, some of the energy that appears to be cleaner, prima facie evidence on its face appears cleaner because you can't see it. This is an invisible spectrum. So before we had electrical wires coming into homes, we had coal, or we had the steam engine, and we had gas lamps in homes, and the gases emitted like a diesel fuel-like smell. So, but it was progress because we didn't have to use wax candles. Now we could use, but actually, they used to use vegetable oils. So there's a section here by the United States government on their Department of Labor. They have what's called Occupational Safety and Health Administration section that came out of the first industrial revolution, where workers were forced to work like slaves and they were dying on the job, and some of the jobs were really dangerous in the past. So they developed this agency to try to help save lives. And they use fact-based evidence on whether or not something is safe, what the risk is, and then the insurance companies, if they're going to insure workers for their health and stuff, they want to look at whether or not they should charge more insurance, etc., etc. So there's a lot of tangled interests and businesses in the day-to-day lives of how we run things in America. Now, if you want to look more in depth, like I said, this is going to be a broad overview. So you've got this invisible wave of energy, and it's generally safe, right? They used to say radiation was safe. They put it in creams for women to make them more beautiful. They used to have workers in the past work with radiation and wind up getting horrible cancers on their face, and working with mercury, different things, and even dentists that work with mercury, or they used to have what they call the Mad Hatter. So these are occupational safety things that I can just tell you about. And one of the things, we're in a new way. We've only had electricity around, but now since the 90s, we had wired connections that dialed up, and most of the energy that was in that was concentrated in the wire. But now with the wireless, we have these routers, they're sending out signals and they're beaming signals, and people that are standing in it, or organic matter that's in it, maybe a tree or something, is possibly getting sick from it. Now, one of the things they've talked about is, well, let's switch to something different. And so in our effort to get away from the gas, oil lamps, and our effort to get away from the dirty coal, you could see the particulate matter. You could visibly see it. You'd notice after a certain amount of time people would be having lung problems and dying sooner. They get inflammation in their body. So there are these people that are saying, hey, look, I don't know about you, but I am chronically sick. I don't know what's causing it. And I have a feeling it's because they had this cell tower right near my home, and my window was like juxtaposed. I was up on a hill, and, now I'm chronically ill. And I'm thinking it's that wind tower, because I didn't start getting sick until after this tower or whatever. So what do we know and what do we not know? Well, we need to have studies to find out, right? Scientific, fact-based studies. And we have to measure things, and it's very hard to measure these radio frequencies, or EMFs. And a lot of people are like, well, that's crazy. If you can't see it, then how do you know it's making people sick? Well, right now there's all this stuff going out about 5G. And they're saying, oh, well, that 5G is really dangerous. And I don't know, honestly. So the companies that are generating this do not want, they want to say, hey, it's a conspiracy theory. And others are saying, well, no, we don't have fact-based evidence on that, and we haven't tested it enough. It's too new. So what some people say, there could be health risks, is what this particular person is saying. The telecommunications industry is huge. They make a lot of money every month. And we have what's called the Federal Communications Commissions in the United States. It's an agency that is making money and getting your tax dollars, and it's supposed to be protecting Americans. But, this is a capitalist nation, and they say they create jobs, they get commerce, they have lots of benefits, and any kind of perceived damages, we just don't know. So there lies the problem. Now, they have done some studies on EMFs in the past, and this would be something that would need to be researched further by myself, but I've read a little on it, and I can tell you that certain frequencies do cause cancer and other health problems. Everybody is unique. I believe medicine should be tailored to the individual. One person may be allergic to something, another person won't. We have our own unique fingerprints, and we also have our own unique biomes. And so how the body reacts to this is going to be different depending on the person. So I was looking for areas where there was very little Wi-Fi, but I would say this one thing. There's an educational gap for people now that do not have Wi-Fi. So what do you do if you don't have Wi-Fi? Well, there's wired connections, okay? There's dial-up and there's wired phones. I found a town that has no Wi-Fi, and it turns out it's because the government has an observatory there. Let me find this. Well, I don't want to take you to these pages because they have ads on them. But there was an article in the Washingtonian, and they say this place called Green Bank, West Virginia, has a observatory in it, and I think I can take you here without risking ads. Okay, so they have this non-profit for the observatory. Hold on, and they do sell stuff here, but they have a science section, an education section. They let people come in on tours. But because the government bought a piece of land there and set it up, they created rules that the people in the community cannot have cell phones, they can't have drones, they can't have wireless connections. So what can they have? They can have wired connections. They can have wired phones. Can they have a phone in their home that's wireless? I don't know. I didn't get that far. But I will tell you that they need they need a 13-foot radius. So they call it astrobiology and radio astronomy or something like that. Let's see. Technology in the next gate. Okay, so they have this observatory here that's huge in the middle of the town, or in the middle of the area, and they basically, wait a minute, this isn't it. Visit site accessibility. The Green Bank Observatory strives to welcome everyone. However, because of certain buildings and historical designations, so basically if you go there, you cannot bring a cell phone with you. You're going to have to ditch your electronics before you get into this area. They call it a National Radio Quiet Zone. Now people move there to get away from the electro frequencies, but there's nothing there. There's no jobs. There's no really good supermarkets. There's no good restaurants. It's very low tech. It's even like, it's like cows and farms. They don't have much there. So that it's called a radio quiet zone. Radio frequency mitigation. So basically, they they need to do these observations, okay? And they have police there. You can be fined in hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're caught with a cell phone in that area beaming off a signal. And they said even if the cell phone's turned off, look, digital cameras, cell phones, fitness trackers should be left at the Science Center. Lockers are provided. So basically they have different zones. And the reason is they are doing scientific work that requires they don't get any interference from any electromagnetic fields. Okay, radio waves. Now, it's not for health reasons, it's for research reasons for the United States of America scientific labs. Now, are there health reasons to avoid these frequencies? Well, people grow up and they don't know why certain things happen, or they haven't found a direct causal link. And by the way, correlation does not mean causation, okay? So that's the long and short of it. Thanks for stopping by and listening, and I put the links below of the different sites, and we can expand upon this in the near future. Take care. and let me know your thoughts. Thank you. Bye.